So, when the mind gets divided and dual answers start coming together and all decisions are lost, Arjuna is in a state of doubt. Decisiveness has been lost. Whenever you ask someone for advice, it always means that you have lost your self confidence. Now there is no hope from myself for any answer because our two answers are coming with the same force and with the same emphasis. It is difficult to decide between the two. Sometimes one seems right, sometimes the other seems right. That's when the man goes to ask for advice. Whenever a person goes to ask for advice, you should know that he is so divided from within that he is no longer able to find the answer from within. Such is Arjuna's condition. He is describing his same condition. So that's why he has lost his decisiveness. So there was a question, God, you just said something about retirement. So here at the bookstall of Jivan Jagruti Kendra, a booklet named Abhinav Sannyas Yojana is also being sold. Somewhere in it, it is written that you become a witness and not a guru. So please clarify that also. And there is one more question as well. Both Arjun and Krishna are standing in the war. How can Arjuna be busy in listening to the 18 chapters of Gita at the beginning of the war? And how can Krishna be busy in narrating Gita sermons? All the armies were also present there. So, was everyone busy listening to Krishna Arjuna's dialogue and questions and answers? Was that time psychological time or something else? So, answer is such a long discussion with Krishna is definitely questionable. Certainly, the question arises on the battlefield where warriors are ready to fight, to struggle. Those 18 chapters, this long book, even if Krishna had said it exactly in the way the Gita devotees repeat it, still took a long time. It would have been. Even if you had continued speaking with your closed eyes, without stopping and without looking at Arjuna, it would still have taken a lot of time. How could this have been possible? So there are two things in this regard. This question has been echoing continuously. That is why some people have said that Gita, as interpolated in Mahabharata, it has been inserted later. This cannot be possible. Some people said that there must have been a brief discussion there, and then the poet explained it in detail later. Both the things are not right for me. For me, Gita has happened, and it has happened as it is in front of me. But it is important to understand the order of occurrence a bit. If all this conversation had happened face to face, if all this conversation had happened like you and I are speaking, then only Krishna and Arjuna would have been participants in it. There were many people in it. There was a big crowd all around. Other people would also have participated in this. Other people would have also raised questions about this. All the other people are standing absolutely silent in this. There are warriors on this side also. There are warriors on that side also. This conversation between both of them goes on for hours. No one spoke in between. No one even said that this is not the time for talks. This is the time for war. The horns have blown. This discussion should not continue now. No one said that. As per my view, this discussion is telepathic. This discussion has not taken place directly face to face. If you have to understand telepathy a little, then it will come to your mind. Otherwise, it will not come to your mind. I will try to explain with one or two, three examples. There was a fakir, a monk, George Gurdjieff in Greece. For 3 months, he went to a small village in Tiflis with Ouspensky, a great mathematician of Russia, and 30 more of his disciples. He had imprisoned these 30 people in a big bungalow. Imprisoned because there was no permission to come out, and these 30 people were told that no one would speak a single word for 3 months. Not only will he not speak words, he will not speak even with gestures. He will not speak even with his eyes. He will not speak even with his hands. It was said that these 30 people who will live in this house for 3 months, each one has to live as if he is all alone. No one else is present. Don't even argue or recognize the other person, even by eyes, even by gestures. If someone else passes by, you don't even have to look. And Gurdjieff said, whoever I catch, I will catch him even if that person is making a slight gesture. Even if that person escaped by accepting the fact that the other person was leaving and that's why he escaped, even then I will throw him out. So Gurdjieff has a very difficult condition. Because you have accepted the other, that the other is here, the conversation has taken place. You escaped, the sign was given. 27 men were thrown out in 15 days. It was very difficult matter. Where 30 people were present, 10 or 12 people were sitting in a room. It was difficult to forget others as they did not exist and to start living alone. It is not as difficult as we think because 3 men survived. 3 is not a small number. It is not so difficult because if a man sits in the forest with his eyes closed and becomes part of the crowd, then why can't he sit in the crowd and be all alone? All the actions of the mind are reversible. All the actions of the mind can be reversed. If a man can talk to his wife while sitting in the forest, then he can be completely alone while sitting near his wife. There is no obstacle in this. 3 men survived, among them the mathematician Ouspensky. He himself was a scientific thinker, and here he has written perhaps the most profound book on mathematics in 100 years. Tertium Organum. It is said that 3 big books have been written in Europe so far. One is Aristotle's Organum, then Bacon's Novum Organum, then Ouspensky's Tertium Organum. He was a great scientific thinker. This too was one of those 3 who survived. 3 months passed. He remained there for 3 months as if he was alone. The people who were in those rooms were forgotten. The world outside was also forgotten. And the man who forgets others forgets himself also. Remember, if you want to remember yourself, it is important to remember others because you and I are 2 different ends of the same stick. If one of them leaves, then the other leaves too immediately. Both of them survive or both of them go. If someone says that I should save myself and forget you, then it is impossible because whether I am is as a result of you. That is the answer of you only. If your you is forgotten, then your I will fall apart. If your I is forgotten, then your you goes away. So those 2 survive together, otherwise they would not have survived. They are 2 sides of the same coin. It was right that the others forgot. Ouspensky also forgot them and himself. Then only existence remains. 3 months later, Gurdjieff is sitting in the front and Ouspensky is also sitting in the front. Suddenly, Ouspensky heard that someone had called and said, Ouspensky, listen. He was surprised and looked around. Who is there? But no one is speaking. Gurdjieff is sitting in front. He observed Gurdjieff carefully during these 3 months. Gurdjieff started laughing. Then a voice came from inside. Don't you recognize my voice? I am speaking, Gurdjieff.